Natural selection. The process by which forms of life having traits that better enable them to adapt to specific environmental pressures as predators, changes in climate, or competition for food or mates will tend to survive and reproduce in great numbers than others of their kind, thus ensuring the perpetuation of those favorable traits in succeeding generations. Hey, this is Ruth.
Hey everybody, it's Kate.
Hey, it's me, Courtney.
I'm Chelsea.
Hey, I'm Rob.
This is the first generation of a light-colored peppered moth. In contrast, this is a black-colored peppered moth. Due to its color, the light-colored moth is able to blend in with the lichen on the trees more easily. This allowed them to hide from their predators. Because of pollution, the trees darkened, therefore the light-colored moth no longer blended into its surroundings. With the darkening of the trees, the original white moths were more prone to predators and therefore had smaller chances of survival.
Over time, some peppered moths encountered slight alterations to their genetic codes, making some blend in with the darker trees a little better. The moths that happened to be more camouflaged were more likely to survive, reproduce, and therefore pass down those traits.
This right here is a small beak finch from the Galapagos Islands. The small-sized beak was efficient in picking and separating small seeds and insects, which was its main diet.
The large ground finch had a bigger and stronger beak that enabled them to crack nuts in tougher shells. As you could see, the small beak was very efficient at picking apart small individual seeds and separating them from the shells.
As the small beak finch population rose, the quantity of smaller seeds and insects decreased. This left an abundance of large seeds. As the quantity of the small seeds decreased, so did the small beak finch. The population started to level off.
The finches that happened to have larger beaks due to mutations were capable of feeding on large seeds by cracking the shells. Those that did were able to survive and reproduce. This right here is our version of an insect. Like many others, he spends his time in search for food in plants, such as nectar and other energy-providing parts of the plant.
For now, let us pretend that this is a honeybee feeding on a wildflower in the middle of a cornfield. It is using its proboscis to retrieve nectar from the center. This right here is a simple demonstration of a farmer spraying insecticide on its plants. When the same species of bees return to feed off the flower, the insecticides are poison to their system and kills those that feed from the treated plant.
Due to slight chance, certain bees had undergone genetic changes which were resistant to the insecticides in the plants. The poison-proof bees could survive while still feeding on the nectar and therefore reproduce. The poison-resistant genes were therefore passed down to their offspring, which continued the chain.